We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing.
Welcome to Gabbing
Gabbing.
with Gracie.
And Heather.
I have two different drinks today, one non-alcoholic and one alcoholic, but I'm being a beverage goblin. I have an iced coffee with caramel or caramel flavoring, and then I have hot chocolate with a bit of Bailey's.
Oh, well, I just have the water today. I did want to do the hot chocolate, but was worried I was going to be taking too much of Fitzy's milk.
Yeah,
Next time.
Steve uses milk.
Yes.
Well, we are continuing our epic journey through
Finally.
Supernatural, and we are up to season 5, episode 2, which is called Good God, Y'all. And it takes place in River Pass, Colorado, and at St. Mark's Hospital, wherever that be. The summary for this episode is Rufus calls Bobby, panicked about demons attacking a town in Colorado. Sam and Dean arrive to help, but soon discover things aren't exactly as they seem. And who is in this episode?
Of course, we have Jared Padalecki, Jensen Ackles, Misha Collins, Jim Beaver, the return of Samantha Ferris as Ellen, and Alana Tall as Joe, as well as Stephen Williams as Rufus. And in this episode, we have Titus Welliver portraying the character Roger. And he starred in, and I apologize, everyone, I still didn't update my notes, but he's been in The Town, Argo, Transformers, Age of Extinction. I think he's one of those character actors that we see all over the place. Marvel One Shot Items 47, CSI, The Good Wife. Doesn't ring a bell, Heather?
Oh, he rings a bell.
Sons of Anarchy.
I've seen him in quite a few things. Definitely
Yeah.
because Gracie's pointing it out at that moment because I just finished the show.
Deadwood, That's Life, Big Apple. I've never heard of that show before. He's one of those character actors. The Practice, and NYPD Blue. NYPD Blue, I haven't heard that in ages. Jeez Louise. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely like was familiar, and I was like, oh yeah, that guy's in like a lot of stuff.
Yes, yes, yes. Mulholland Falls. I think I've
Oh,
seen
okay.
that before.
But yeah, he plays a great character. I guess since we're getting into the episode, we can say who he is. We don't know at first, but the guys figure it out. He ends up
Mhm.
being one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, specifically war.
Yes. He's hungry for it.
Yeah. So it's a fun character because he's playing both sides. Because like as the summary stated, like Sam and Dean go off to Colorado to this town. That the town when they get there is essentially cut in half. Like even like and you can't like everybody's kind of like contained in the town. Like you can't get in or out of the town. And so they somehow make their way in. They can't drive in, but they somehow get in. And there's like two factions. There's the Rufus Joe faction and the Ellen faction. And both sides think that the other side are demons.
When in fact they're
Crazy.
not.
And why would they not think that they are? Like when they see them, they have like the demon black eyes and everything. Yeah, so we see Ellen pitted against Joe in the
Which is exactly what you would do.
yeah.
Pit mother against daughter. Or
Yeah.
brothers against each other as well, too.
Yeah, it's kind of like I guess I didn't think about this. It's like symbolic of like what you think of with the like Civil War, like family against family.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's very emotional, very high stakes, worst case scenario. Because what would you do in that situation? Like Joe even brings that up with Rufus because
Yeah,
Rufus is
exactly.
setting up bombs, and Joe is like, bombs don't kill demons. And Rufus is like, yeah, but it will slow them down. And she's like, one of those demons is inside my mother. Like, and he's like, well, I'm going to do everything I can to save your mom. And she's like, unless she comes across one of these bombs.
Right.
'Cause,
She
yeah,
has no control over.
yeah.
It's a very sensitive issue there.
Because I went straight to like the crux of things, we're gonna probably talk about this episode a little bit backwards because there's a whole part in the beginning that we should probably talk about. But
Well, we kind of
yeah,
talked about it in the previous.
we did. But there are some points that I wanted to point out. But I want to continue on with what we're talking about first. But yeah, so Roger is War, and he's going back and forth between the two factions, which I thought was interesting because they didn't really like catch on that he was doing that. I guess they thought that
I
he was like just going to try to like get supplies or stuff like that, like when he was leaving.
Oh, I thought they didn't even notice he was like sneaking out somehow, but that
Yeah,
would be
like, but
obvious.
there's such a small amount of people that like you would think that they would catch up, but yeah, they were obviously distracted by something. And I think that it's Dean that notices, right? Because he comes back and he's a little bit more obvious because he acts like he
You're
almost
right.
died or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. He made a whole big
Yeah.
show of it.
So like when the guys come in and they get separated, they both kind of independently figure out that Roger is not being
Who he says
honest.
he is.
Yeah, he's not who he says he is. Sammy, of course, realizes it first because he kind of notices Roger observing everyone. If is my memory of it, is that how you remember it as well?
I remember it as well too.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to remember is he has a conversation, Roger, with somebody. Is it Sam or Dean? And I was just watching it too, and it just
Where he says like, "Oh, I'm waiting for my brothers."
yeah, I think it was Sammy.
I would have thought that was Dean. Let me see if I made a note about it. Because I
I'm gonna go
think
back.
I
I thought
think
that that was an
Sam,
interesting scene
yeah.
because it must have been Sammy because if it was Dean, he would have just like flipped his lid.
Well, so here's the thing. I wrote down Sam figures out Roger's war because I think like he straight up is like, "Who are you?"
Yeah,
Like you're like, or like I think he says like, "Are you like one of the four horsemen or something like that?" Like I think he figures it out without prompting, doesn't he?
he does, and he does have Sammy. Sammy's tied up.
Yeah. Where like Dean is like, something's not right about you, what's going on? And I
Mhm.
think that's when he has the conversation about like, let me see, buddy. I like chaos, I like this. I have a red Mustang.
Oh shoot, I had the wrong person.
Unless I'm reversing it.
No, you are not reversing it. And it's just hard to like keep track for some reason. It's like as if I
Yeah.
didn't just watch this, but they have Rufus and Joe, Sammy tied up because obviously they think that he's a demon. And then he
Yeah.
just walks through the door and he immediately asks who the hell are. So was there some interaction beforehand that caused them to say that? I'm not sure.
I think they just, if I'm remembering correctly, I think they just had like subtle hints where like chaos would be happening and Roger would just be like over in the corner, like watching and like, or like, I think he caught him move his ring.
He is watching through the door, Joe throwing salt or whatever at
Hmm.
Sammy, and he's doing the ring thing.
Yeah.
He's moving his ring.
Yeah, because that's like the big thing that they're not catching at first is that the things that typically work on demons are not working on anyone because nobody's actually a demon. And
Right.
like Joe finally gets like confused and is like, I don't understand like what kind of demon is this? It's nothing's working. So they do start to get hints, but like it's really Dean and Ellen coming over and like tackling them and being like, we're not demons. This is all like a big hallucination. Like,
Mhm.
think about it. Like, none of the stuff that you've been trying is working. Like, snap out of it. And once they realize the truth, then like they actually do snap out of the hallucination. So it's really like nefarious
It is.
because it's like you can't, it makes you not be able to trust any of your own instincts or like the senses, like what you hear, what you see, what you're smelling, all that. Like you can't trust anything in that scenario.
Well, we figured it out.
Yeah, but they do figure it out. They also are like, how the hell are we gonna deal with this? Because like you can't kill a horseman of the apocalypse. So they end up cutting off his ring because their ring is their power.
Very Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the precious. Now, I don't know if we ever find out what they do with that ring. Does
Huh.
everything just go to that random New York storage facility that somehow gets paid for?
I have no idea. Maybe they burned it. Maybe they melted it. I don't know. Can it be melted? I have no
Yeah, that's
idea.
a good point. Did they take a side quest over to Mordor to melt it? Is that the name? I'm
You got it
sorry if I got
right.
that.
No, you
Okay.
got it right. You got it right.
I'm like, although Lord of the Rings people are gonna come after me.
And it's my fault because I brought it up. Oh my
Uh,
God.
Well, do you have anything else about this piece, or do you want to go back to the beginning and cover?
That was all. We could go back to
Okay.
the beginning.
We're gonna jump over because there's also some stuff at the end, but
Definitely. Not
uh,
everything has to be in order.
yeah, exactly. We're talking just about the episode in general.
Yes.
Gracie alluded to that we did talk about part of the beginning in the last episode because I think our brains thought it was the
Amazing.
end of episode one,
It
but it was
just
actually
felt
the beginning.
like that's how it should have ended. I felt like that could have been a cliffhanger in and of itself.
Yeah, it could have been. And it was kind of like a scene transitioning because the end of season, the end of episode one and the beginning of episode two are in Bobby's hospital room.
I wonder if it was introduced, way back when, as how sometimes some seasons end with a part one and a part two. Did this begin as a part one and a part two? Does that make sense?
Oh, that would make sense. Oh, I wonder if I wrote down a phrase from a Dean quote for this episode. Because the episode one was, I have a GED and a can-do attitude. So I'll
Mhm.
also look through my notes. Oh, Ellen has a good line that I'll talk about in a minute. That might be the line for this episode. Yeah, so we start off the episode, which what we talked about last time was that Cash shows up and is not able to heal Bobby because Bobby had stabbed himself in the previous episode to get the demon out of him, and he is now wheelchair bound. So yeah, so this episode starts off with they're in the hospital room. Cass calls Dean to find out where they're at. He says, we're at St. Mark's Hospital. He shows up and they're like, dude, why the cell phone? And that's when we start to realize that Cass isn't as powerful as he used to be because he's like, oh, well, the symbols I put on you, I can't locate you. Like, I'm an angel. It's to protect you from angels, blah, blah, blah. And Bobby's basically like, stop yapping and get over here and heal me. And he says, like, I can't heal you because since the angels have all left, I have lost like a lot of my power. Poor Bobby has an attitude about it, as
He
he should.
was pretty ticked off.
Yeah. So that's kind of like what we covered last time. And then while all this is taking place, that's when Rufus calls Bobby and tells him that the boys need to head over to Colorado because they're in
And
trouble.
like watching that scene, with the short amount of time that Castiel was around, he really proved himself that he just assumed that Bobby just assumed that Castiel was going to be able to fix them
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
because he
trust
did.
was there too.
Yeah.
I trust that Castiel will do this for me.
Yeah. Because I mean, he really has proven himself because he went against all the other angels to help the boys. He pulled Dean from hell, like he literally brought Dean back to hell,
Mhm.
back to life from hell. And yeah, it hasn't been like a long time, but 100% has proved that he is capable and is willing to do whatever it takes for them. The other thing that was important about this beginning scene is that Cass says that he's going to find God, that God's not in heaven, but that he's going to locate him. And the reason why he's at the hospital, because Bobby's basically like, well, like, what the F are you doing here? Like, if it's
Mhm.
not to heal me. And so he explains that he needs a special amulet that burns in God's presence, which I was like, wait a minute. Did you have that same thought? When
No.
you found out what the amulet was? Because we find out it's Dean's necklace.
Well, yeah, because he was looking at it.
Yeah. And so he takes Dean's necklace, and Dean is very like, I better get this back. But like,
That's right.
Dean's necklace burns in God's presence. If you haven't watched past season five, please ignore the next few minutes of our conversation.
You better talk about it because I do not remember.
Well, we know who God is. So Dean has been in his
Oh,
presence with that necklace on.
but it hasn't burned.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, what? Unless it doesn't actually work and Cass doesn't realize that.
Probably.
So something to keep in the back of our mind.
But like he said that, how sure was he that that was something that burns in God's presence?
He seemed pretty sure because he's like, I need this amulet because it burns in God's presence. And Bobby's like, I don't have anything like that. And he's like, no, you don't. And then he looks at Dean's
Right.
necklace and Dean is like, no.
Being
But Dean
whiny
is
Dane.
super sentimental about everything, even though he tries to act all tough.
You already know this.
We know you, Dean.
We know you and we love you. Oh my God, did I ever tell you that I did see Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles one time on 42nd Street?
Yeah. And you didn't tackle them.
I did not talk to them.
I'm so
I
proud of
didn't.
you.
I was such a New Yorker that day. Normally I will not be a New Yorker and mind my business.
Really like the big stuff at the beginning, and then when they do make it to Colorado, and the guys run into Ellen, the quote I have is, "Are you allergic to giving me peace of mind?" And
Yeah.
then she slaps Steve because she was never told that he was back alive at out of hell by them. She found out from Rufus that he was alive.
Uh-oh. She's
So
been
she was like
mourning them
pissed
this
off.
whole entire time.
Yeah. So yeah, so that was funny because it was kind of like a hug. Are you allergic to peace of mind? Boom.
She knocked them out. That was like, oh, only a mama bear would do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
So yeah, that part cracked me up. Oh, Joe had a good one too, where she said she's yelling at like Demon Ellen, saying, "Give my mom back, you black-eyed bitch." And that was kind of Ellen's clue too. Like it took her a hot minute,
Yeah.
but then like when she was like talking to the guys or talking to Dean, it was like, "Oh, Joe called me a black-eyed bitch."
Yeah. She was like, something's going on here.
Yeah.
Why would she be calling me that?
So it's
And
like,
it was hurtful too.
yeah, it was. I think Dean was like, because he didn't like catch the black-eyed part. He was like, "Oh, are you that shocked that Ella or Joe would call you a bitch or something?" And she's like, "No, she called me a black-eyed bitch."
Oh, to have a
Dude.
teenage daughter. I know. I'm just like, oh, Cass. Cass is so just matter of fact about everything. Cracks me up.
He really is. There's an episode coming up that I'm really excited to talk about Cass's like reactions and facial expressions about. Oh, I was really proud of Dean because Dean like gets into the Bible and like finds Revelations 8:10 and like forms all the
Mm-hmm.
connections, and
Mm-hmm.
he like realizes that the red Mustang outside is the red horse from Revelations.
He's a smart little cookie there at that
I
moment.
was like,
Yeah,
look at Dean like channeling Sam's more academic.
that's right. That's right. He's learning from him.
But the only other stuff, I don't know if you have anything else to add. The only other stuff I had that I thought was notable was that Sam and Dean have a heart to heart at the end.
Hmm. A sad heart to heart.
Yeah.
And it's like to know like this isn't the last one that they'll be having. Like they'll always have.
Yeah.
It's just so hard all the time.
Yeah. But it stems from episode one where Gene says that he doesn't know if he can trust Sam anymore. And
Yeah.
we see that throughout this episode where like Gene doesn't want to leave Sam alone. He thinks that he's gonna drink demon blood, yada yada yada.
Hmm.
So they decide like, okay, Sam's not in any shape to hunt anymore in this under these circumstances, and like with me not being able to trust you, like we need to part ways.
Yeah,
I didn't write it down, but I think he even offers to give him baby, doesn't he? And that's like a huge, huge thing.
it is. It is. So for the end of this episode, Dean stays with baby and Sammy goes off and hitchhikes too.
With a random dude, I was like, who's that guy in the camper?
Well, he could take it. I feel like he had a conversation with him before. Like, can I come with you? No? Okay. Because he leaves pretty quickly.
Yeah, I was just
Well,
curious who he was because I was like, who is that? Like at first I thought it would have been Rufus.
I thought it was maybe somebody that they knew, but it didn't look, the person didn't look familiar. They would have introduced them, I would think,
Yeah,
beforehand.
maybe they just happened to be like randomly coming through town.
But he just immediately leaves.
Yeah. And goes off to Oklahoma, which we find out in episode 3, which is called Free to Be Me and You. And the summary is, well, it takes place in 3 locations, Pennsylvania, Maine, and Oklahoma. And Sam decides to stop hunting, but has a hard time after he receives a surprise visit. Dean and Cash try to find the Archangel Raphael in their bid to stop the apocalypse.
And in this episode, we have the returning cast members. I don't think I should be saying their names at this point. We have Adrian Palicki as Jessica Moore, Sam's ex-girlfriend who passes or gets essentially murdered, right?
Yeah.
Mark Pellegrino as Lucifer, Demore Barnes as Donnie Finnerman, Emma Bell as Lindsay, and anybody else look familiar to you? And we have Emma Bell, who, where have I seen her from? The
That
Walking
Lindsay.
Dead. Yes, she was in The Walking Dead. Oh, she was in Dallas for a lot of episodes. Relationship Status. And what else? What we got here? Walking Dead. I remember her in The Walking Dead. She was early on. The Bedford Diaries, and that's about it.
Okay.
Hmm.
I just noticed the quote that I wrote down for this episode.
Tell me.
In episode one, I explained like I feel like there was like a great quote in every episode. The one for this episode I wrote down was, "Last time you zapped me, I didn't poop for a week. We're driving."
I remember that one. I remember that. I was just like, damn, okay.
Yeah. So this episode has like dual storylines because Sam is in Oklahoma and Dean starts out in Pennsylvania because he's in Greeley, Pennsylvania, where there's a vampire nest. And then he meets up with Cass, who says that he needs help fighting Raphael and that he heard he's walking to Earth, so he wants to trap and interrogate him. And that's why he's about to zap Dean because he wants to zap him over to Maine. So instead of getting zapped, they drive to Maine. And so yeah, I don't know. Do you have a preference on which storyline we talk about first?
Let's do Sammy.
Okay. So Sammy is in Oklahoma and he is working at a bar.
That's right.
And he has a coworker, Lindsay.
Who has the hots for him?
Yeah, she's very intrigued because he's very mysterious because she noticed that he completed the New York Times Saturday crossword. Yeah, so she wants to get to know what he's about because she's like, you're obviously very intelligent. You don't talk about anything. Like, what is going on? Why are you working in this bar?
Mm-hmm.
And so she bets him that if she beats him at darts, that he will take her out to dinner and tell his life story. And he says, sure. And then he proceeds to get the bullseye every time when throwing the
Oh,
dart, which
Lindsay.
makes her even want to know more. He creates a thirsty bitch.
Yes, and in my opinion, like she's also probably not meant to be there because she's so like how you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And I'm being
Well, that comes out because she's like, when they eventually do go to dinner, she's like, I see you. Like you have some kind of addiction. And she pulls out her like coin that she's been sober. I think it was her 3 year coin. And so and he's like, you work at a bar, and she's like, so do you. Like, this is kind of like what brought us to the bar. Like, we're kind of outsiders. So Lexie's like,
yeah, I forgot about that. Mhm.
yeah. And like while she doesn't know what his addiction is, she definitely like spotted it. So yeah. So she sees him even though he can't get that
I see you.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I get it. I get it.
Because like who's gonna think like, oh, I'm a hunter of supernatural beings and I have a demon blood addiction? Who's gonna think
Nobody.
somebody's gonna understand that? But she does, even though she doesn't know the details.
We're forgetting a piece of the puzzle here for not the piece of the puzzle. We're forgetting something for
What's that?
Sammy. He wakes up. Whoops, I took off my whole entire headphone. He wakes up in his hotel bedroom and finds,
Jessica.
yes.
Yeah, and that's how it starts off, where he wakes up and she says that he needs to stop running from his past, and then we find out that that's a week in the future. We go back a week to him working at the bar. So that like bookends the storyline because oh, did you not catch that was a week later?
I know.
Sometimes we'll be missing things. Can I just tell you, I went to put Supernatural on and it went to season one, episode one. And the first thing it shows is Lawrence, Kansas, 22 years earlier, which means that we knew from episode one that Sammy was 22 years old. How many times have we had a conversation about how old are Sam and
Oh,
Dean?
that's a good one, Heather. That is a good one.
We miss things that are right in front of us.
That is a good one.
I
I
was
still
like, are
think
you kidding me?
so he was 22 and Dean was 26. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Can't
wanted to
forget that.
text you immediately about that, but then I got distracted.
Can't forget that. I
Yeah,
don't know.
so like
I
it
totally didn't
says,
get that. And mind you, I wasn't distracted. Like I was like sitting in bed and I wasn't falling asleep for this episode. For,
but if
so,
you like looked away for just a second, you would have missed it because it's like right as
well,
that scene is ending and then it goes to the bar, it says 1 week earlier.
weren't we watching something? And I don't even remember if it was Supernatural. And I was like, if you would have blinked, you wouldn't have seen this. I think it might have been like the love
Yeah,
shift. The love shift. So
one of them. That might
you
be
have
right.
to be like super focused if you want to like
Mm-hmm.
see certain things, or not if you want to, but you know what I mean.
Exactly. And we always got so many things going on.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that bookends it because then you fast forward to the end of that storyline and you have him talking to Jess again. So presumably back at that same scene, but then it continues on. And then it's revealed that like Jess is behind him and then Jess suddenly becomes Lucifer. And Sam realizes it's been Lucifer he's been talking to, and he finds out that he's the true vessel of Lucifer. That like poor what is his name?
Nick.
Nick. Poor Nick is just like a feeble transitional vessel or something like that could go at any moment. But as of long time supernatural people know,
Yeah.
Nick's got layers and strengths that we don't know about.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that was nice kind of how that book ended the storyline. But so like I think like the and correct me if I'm wrong or if you have a varying opinion, but I feel like the storyline of Sam working at this bar and Lindsay and then what happens with the hunters arriving,
Hmm.
the whole purpose of that is to show Sam that he really can't step away from hunting and that he needs to like take responsibility, kind of like what Bobby was saying, because when Sam is at the bar, he realizes that something's going on in the town nearby. So he calls
Hmm.
Bobby to be like, you should have some hunters, whoever's in the area, go check this out. And Bobby has like typical Bobby attitude. And he's like, well, let me see. Let me see what really good hunter I know that's in the area. You fuckhead. I don't think he said fuckhead, but he said
No,
something
but you know, if bad words were allowed on the CW or the WB, whatever it was at the moment,
Yeah,
he would have said that.
yeah.
Yo, hold up a second. Was there ever a season where they were on UPN?
Oh, it
Something's
would have been
telling
like
me,
it would have been like the first season, right? Because UPN was like
or am I confusing it with Angel? I feel
when
like
did
there was like
UPN
this
like
random season elsewhere and then came back.
oh like in the middle?
Yeah,
Was UPN around then? God, I have like no concept of time anymore.
that's
I
okay.
thought UPN went away like before that. We're both Googling people, sorry.
Oh, maybe this was it. UPN did not originally show Supernatural, but it did air the show after the UPN and WB merged to form the CW.
Oh, okay. So maybe there was a short amount of time that you could see it on both.
Maybe. So was Angel at that point, or was Angel done?
Angel, they might have overlapped at the beginning.
The UPN aired Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Roswell from the WB for a few seasons.
I forgot about Roswell. Oh, do you know that they're
That,
remaking Buffy?
wait, what?
I can't. I just saw Josh Whedon and remembered that. Yeah. So, but Josh Whedon's not associated at all with it. Um,
Okay,
Sarah Michelle Gellar is going to be in it, but she's going to be taking like the more Giles role.
makes
There's
sense.
going to be a new hunter.
Is it going to be a continuation of
I think so. I
that
don't know a
storyline?
whole lot about it, but like I think she's coming back as Buffy, but she's not going to be the hunter. She's going to be the like more advisory
But
role.
is she going? Okay, I mean, obviously you're not going to know this, but I'm going to tell you. I'm going to ask you. Is she? Let me think how I want to ask this because
I'll put my computer glasses
my
on.
brain. I love that you're doing that. My brain is slowly. My brain is becoming slow because I'm getting tired. So at the end of Buffy, there were multiple hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to continue like that?
Oh,
Because we have the
I
comic book series also that continued the thread. I only have a few of them, which I can't even remember if I've read all of them or not. and at some point, I don't know if it ever ended. So, is it a continuation of all of that?
I do not know, as you suspected, but with Sarah Michelle Gellar being part of it, I would hope that she's gonna try to make it as cohesive as possible.
Because it's complicated with a lot of, because, she dies and then Faith becomes the hunter and then everything got messed up because there should technically be one hunter, but I guess it's better to have more than one with all the demons running around. One hunter can't possibly take care of all of them.
Yeah, it's just that it's like basically saying that Hulu is going to, it's like a Hulu project.
Okay.
It's the pilot is almost done.
The pilot? Jesus, Heather, how did we miss this?
Oh no, wait, a pilot order is nearly
Oh,
completion. Sorry. Um,
have mercy.
Chloe Zhao, is that how you say her last name? Zhao is an Oscar-winning director, is set to direct the pilot.
Never heard of her.
It says this reboot aims to bring back beloved characters and continue the legacy of the original series,
Okay.
whatever that means.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see.
So it's something to keep
Hmm.
a lookout for.
Okay. My gosh, I feel like I have to go back and watch Buffy just so that I'm mentally prepared for this Buffy.
You
It's
know,
not
I went
probably
back
not going to
and
be called Buffy.
I rewatched Angel, and that was like really good. I've never gone back and rewatched Buffy. Maybe
I
I'll do that too.
started, I started to, and just like with Gilmore Girls, just like got distracted, life happens, whatever. It would be great if they could have it in HD at, at the time, which was just a few years ago, because I think I started watching it just before Fitzy came into the picture. So,
So that put a stop on things.
yeah.
Okay, here's an article. Our biggest questions about the Buffy reboot. So Sarah Michelle Gellar is officially returning as Buffy Summers.
Xander, Willow, the
It
sister, I can't remember
was,
her
yeah,
name.
that's why that's what it's talking about. Like who else? Buffy herself is set to come back. At least some of the main cast has to return. Joss Whedon will not be back. Come on, just actually talk.
It's one of those clickbait articles. They'll give you one tidbit and that's it.
They don't know shit. That's what this article is saying.
Hmm.
I was getting into the comic. Yeah, they don't know shit.
Okay.
I hate articles like this.
There's this one website that's like, oh, this season or this show was canceled on Netflix, whatever, and then you have to like go through, I don't know how many paragraphs for them to actually tell you which one it is.
Oh
Very
yeah, I
frustrating.
stopped even looking at them. But
Hmm.
sorry to distract, but I keep meaning to ask you about that because I've known for like a week or two.
That's important information. How dare you keep it to yourself?
I know. I suck.
Wait until I tell my sister.
Oh yeah, she's prime age for that too. But let's bring it back to Sam. Yeah, so I felt like the storyline of like the three hunters coming and then like it going disastrous for them and one of them dying really
He
was
can't
like,
escape his destiny.
yeah, exactly.
And you can't shut off being a hunter.
Exactly. Because, like, otherwise, he would have just not even, like, called Bobby. He would have just ignored the signs that he was seeing.
Hmm.
But, like,
Hmm.
it just shows that exactly you can't shut it off and that you can't escape your destiny. And that goes back to that first episode of the first season when Mary dies. Like, how did she shut it off to the
Hmm.
point that she didn't have any protection for herself and Sammy against the Yellow Eyed Demon? I still don't understand that. I need to be into Mary Winchester's head.
I don't get it either.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything else for Sammy's storyline?
No.
Okay. So while all this is happening, Dean has driven to Maine with Cass so that he can poop.
I don't know why Cass would even try to zap because wouldn't that drain his energy anyhow?
Yeah, that's a good point. But
Yeah.
I guess he can still zap without issue. I didn't think about that.
The
Um,
convenience.
yeah.
Convenience. That's what it is.
So they go up there because they found out that there was like an incident at like I guess like a gas station auto mechanics place where something happened that he was like, oh, that's got to be like Raphael walking the earth. And so they talk to this local police officer who has his ear shot out, like he can't hear because of some incident that happened at that location. And they find out that there is this guy who is at where is he? At some hospital. I didn't write down the name of the hospital, but he's at some hospital.
It's
And
a
they
very
go,
hospitalish season.
it is. And it's another seat, but I don't remember the name of the hospital.
I never noticed that the hospitals were named after saints. Oh, okay.
Does New York have any saint hospitals?
St. Luke's, but I don't think it's called
Uh,
St. Luke's anymore.
okay.
That's where I
'Cause,
was born.
yeah, there's
No, but I'm saying like on the show. I didn't notice
oh,
that they
okay.
were.
I thought you meant in general because yeah, like I've gone to like I used to go to Vincent's Hospital in Erie, Pennsylvania. My one of
No,
my
now you
siblings was born at St. Luke's Hospital, but like the St. Luke's Hospital in Duluth, Minnesota.
got
Interesting.
me thinking. Why are hospitals named after saints as a protection?
Well, they're Catholic.
People inside the oh, my bad. Boy. Okay. Takes
But
me a
there
while,
could be
y'all.
like a special meaning on which saint they name them after or something
Yeah.
like that.
Each saint
Like
has something that they
Alexa,
represent.
who is this? Who is Saint Luke the patron saint of? Physicians and surgeons.
Okay.
But so that makes sense why there's so many Saint Lukes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
St. Elmo's fire.
Well, that's a specific.
I don't know. I just thought that.
That means something.
St. Elsewhere.
Saint Elsewhere. Yeah, that was a show about.
That's what I got confused with right now. I didn't mean to say St. Elmo's fire.
But St. Elmo's fire does mean something. It's like it's a meaning of something. Describe it in
Oh
St.
my
Elmo's Fire, the
God.
movie. It's a luminous electrical discharge that appears as a glow around an object.
Oh
It can
my
occur on maps,
God.
aircraft, and elevated objects.
That is so funny.
Anywho, they go to the hospital and they find this man, this poor man, who is in a wheelchair and he's just kind of like staring off into space. And Cass, being like the gem that Cass is, Dean goes, "Is this what I have to look forward to if I'm Michael's vessel?" And Cass is like, "Oh no, like Michael is so much more stronger than Raphael." Like, way to give him comfort.
He's so clueless. I love it. And it goes on and on and on and on for years.
And it really goes on and on in this episode too, because then so they come up
Oh
with the whole
man.
plan where they get the Jerusalem oil, they're gonna like trap Raphael and stuff. So they're like waiting, and Dean is like, oh, this goes to the quote I think for this episode, because Dean is like finds out that like, oh, I already did the quote for this episode. This one has multiple because I didn't write this other one down, but I think it's memorable. He finds out that like Cass is most likely gonna die, and so he's like, "Well, what do you got planned for your last night?" And Cass is like, "Oh,
Yes.
I think I'm just gonna sit here and wait." And he's like, "No, no." He finds out that Cass had never had sex, so he goes, "I know two things." I didn't write it down, so I'm gonna paraphrase. But he basically said something like, "I know two truths in this world. One, Bert and Elmo are gay, not Elmo. Bert and Ernie are gay.
Even think
And there's like the second is there's no way I'm gonna let you die a
a
virgin or something
virgin. No,
like that."
I think you said that perfectly.
Yeah. Tina's just like full of
Oh my
the one-liners.
gosh.
So they go to a brothel and he sets Cass up with this young lady named Chastity and they go off to do whatever like Cass wants her to do. And she starts screaming and hollering and like saying she's gonna kill him and that she never wants to see him again and
Yep.
causing a big old fuss. And everyone is like, "What the hell?" And Dean is like, "What did you do?" And he says, "I just looked her in the eye and said that it's not her fault that her father left, that he was just bored with his job at the post office."
Cass
And
is the
like he's
character
just
for
like,
days.
yeah, he's just so like oblivious to the world.
You would think that like being inside a vessel for like X amount of time that something would kind of stick. But then
You
again,
would
his vessel
think.
just up and left, so whatever. He abandoned his
Yeah.
kid.
But Dean also, he said something about like, dude, like the whole industry revolves around absentee fathers. Like you can't be
Yes,
saying that stuff.
yes.
So they have to run because the bouncers are coming after them. And then Dean realizes like he has had more fun being away from Sam and like his family in general
Mm-hmm.
with Cass than he's ever had. And like that's like a big like, oh my God, light
Awakening.
bulb moment. Oh, I did write it down. He said, Bert and Ernie are gay, and two, you are not going to die a virgin on my watch.
Perfect.
I didn't put it in quotes, so I didn't realize that I wrote it down. Yeah, he said that like it's been a long time since he's laughed as hard as he has with Cass that night. But then fast forward, they trap Raphael. Raphael is like, bro, God is dead.
That Dean is one good-looking specimen, I tell you. I mean,
He
Jensen
really
Ackles.
is. He really is. Did they just let Raphael go? I didn't write down how Raphael is like no longer trapped in the oil.
I guess they did. Ouch. See if I fast forward because I'm on the episode now.
I did ask a question, or did write down a question for.
Okay.
I wrote down while you're looking at that. Do you think Cass pieced out on purpose at the end when Dean says that he's happy without Sam?
You think he did it intentionally so that he could start feeling lonely?
That or like to me, yeah, like not, I don't know if it, like lonely is a good word, but to realize that he needs to have someone with him, if not Sam.
It made him realize probably he has to talk to Sammy. But Sammy did call. Wait, he is the one that calls Sammy at the end, right?
Uh,
Heather, I don't see what happens with Raphael. Like, I
Maybe
don't
they just
see
leave
him
him.
ever again.
Maybe he's just still there in the Jerusalem oil.
Who's gonna save him?
I think that Sam does call at the end. I didn't write down that, but the next episode,
I
the
think you're
first
right.
thing I wrote down is Dean refuses Sam's efforts to help him.
I think you're right because he tells him about being a vessel, being Michael's vessel. I mean, Lucifer's vessel.
Yeah. So that would make sense that Sam calls him. So we're going to wrap it up with this episode and start up with episode 4 next time. Oh, well, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
I do not.
Okay. Let us know on Instagram or in email what you thought about episodes 2 and 3. Our email address is gabinpodcast@gmail.com. And then it's the same for IG, right? It's just at Gavin Podcast.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But hit us up. The link is in the description of our IG. But let us know what you think at Gavin Podcast and let us know anything else. And thanks for listening to Gavin. Go check us out on Instagram, like and follow us. Check out our other episodes. We are on all the major platforms where you can find your podcast. Feel free to buy us a coffee.
Please do. We need it.
Talk to you next week. Thanks for listening to Gavin.
Gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing.